Now, these unhealers that don't want to heal from the sins that they've done, then they better proceed with caution, shouldn't they?
Altercation could be breaking out because they didn't know something. I don't know who these four men is. It could
They
be
don't know.
dudes or some shit like
Because
that.
they listen to gossip
So
out in the streets.
thank your ancestors here, okay, that they made you.
Don't thank ancestors. Thank yourself for moves that you do.
His life is a projection of the energy they put out. So as they...
The thoughts that you accept, thank that. And thank the education and lessons you've learnt to get the right thoughts if you can reach that area. Thank that. But don't thank something that science hasn't proven or no one's proven and everyone laughs at. Don't thank it. These other people who succeed would want you to thank it so they can succeed more. You know what I mean?
Trying to block you energetically, spiritually, emotionally, physically, whatever they're trying to do, it's like they're the ones that's blocked. So every time somebody try to do some work on you, every time they try to cause you blockages and obstacles, it's automatic, and they trying to figure out what spell is that? That's the energy somebody on. It's not.
It's not no spell, you dipshits. Go see the real people who will tell you that, right? This stuff is entertainment, and if it was real, it's the sins you need to live into until you find out that it's real and you fix it. That's what learning is. So you cop it up the bum. You have to just cop it until you figure it out, right? That's why the devil's allowed to do what it does. And if you just go, nah, devil's not doing that, well, the devil will continue, right?
Spell. That's why it's working the way it is, because it's not a spell. It's not something.
It's not a spell. They're people attacking. Right? You can use even devices to shut down things, to make things play up. You can hack them. The TV that played up on mine is a smart TV, right? And there's smart switches in the caravan. And these smart things are owned by China and stuff like that. We've heard about China and hacking in. So all the truth is there. It's even been proven. So if you deny that people are saying all this, then you're an idiot. You have to research it. You have to get someone who can. If you can't, then you're an idiot again, aren't you? And you'll just have to cop it sweet. And that's why the people are meant to speak and the police are meant to investigate. But when I went to go get the police to investigate these similar stories, you know what they say? I've got it recorded. They say, mate, this paperwork's fake. I don't want to see it. I'm not even going to spend 5 minutes. Or that's what happens when you're in a town that just doesn't give a shit about much. You know what I mean? Right? Unless you got a badge. Remember how I just talked about how we can get these Catholics to do things? Money and a badge, right? Shocking, isn't it?
It's working the way it is, because it's not a spell. It's not something that somebody sat down and did. You have a magical protection.
Never done a spell in my life.
You have God on your side. So
didn't even play out one. You know what I mean?
Makes sense. But whoever this is.
The only thing I played out was burn a piece of paper for my wishes, which lots of people have done, and that's no spell. And if we can do that and it happen, well, voila. But how do you get rewarded if it did happen? That's what I've talked about. I guess to get those rewards and the wishes and prayers, you've got to earn it, don't you? Shit. And then when you do, these dickheads come along and go, shit, he done a spell. That's what I see that these people do to bully each other, like the governments bully each other. Shocking, isn't it? Guess they learned from the top.
Because you were supposed to be blocked. Okay? They can't do this no more.
I can play sound right now. In fact, I can play my sound like I've been doing and everything. And I can still watch TV. I don't care about the best graphics and all that kind of crap, really. Because I got brought up by an old class stepdad that made us watch an old click TV and goes, you don't need to replace things unless you really need to. Or if you're doing good or someone else helps you out in that area or wants it. You know what I mean? And then you like them, so you might just do an upgrade. But other than that, you don't really need to do things. Right? People that fry for upgrades all the time might find out they just get an outcome like Gaza.
They want to
That's not an upgrade.
Somebody.
Well, for a while, though, wasn't it?
Because they can't curse you. Somebody can be cursed with misfortune. They all in their head.
Wonder how many stories of that we heard just before Gaza went down. You know what I mean? As Gaza was building. You know what I mean? You see? What's truth to this?
It's come to their attention and somebody is mad. And it's weird because somebody got the nerve. This is so strange. Somebody see you moving forward.
Now, if you ever get mad, make sure you're mad about something real. Means mad about someone who's nasty, that someone does something all the time that makes you mad or others mad. They do something towards you. But if they're doing something towards you, like you're jealous or they're showing you something that you can't do and all this kind of, you move away, right? You get away from that kind of crap. You don't have to see. It's like junk mail. If you don't see, you don't want, right? Other than that, mad's there for a reason. It's part of genetics to sort out issues and survival, right? But if you're using mad for the bad apple way, well, you might need more survival in some cases if you're approaching certain people, unless you put them all in their place.
Happy, whatever. And they like, how dare you be happy? Or how...
Imagine, everybody, and they say it quite a lot in these regions, imagine someone saying that. That's the most craziest thing. It's like the devil. That's what the devil would say, wouldn't it? Fuck, you wouldn't want a human to say such things. They should be definitely locked up, put in a mental ward, something like that. That's crazy. And definitely they've got nothing, no real evidence, right? So when they've got something to say, it's got to be backed up with evidence on why they're doing that or saying that.
You such and such. And then another thing, for some of these people, don't they know like that the people, like somebody got a niece or auntie or somebody, y'all look alike. Do you know that? Did y'all know y'all look alike?
Does that matter?
How stupid do you think this ex is to not know that you related to so and so? Like, that's another thing I'm hearing. So if somebody got somebody stalking you, watching you, tracking you, blah, 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 they know that they know it's not like it's so obvious at this point. It's never somebody should.
See, soon I won't be posting. I'll be going in another area, and I'll be getting other people to do things for me because I'll be talking to them about how I'm blocked, right? And I wonder if they get blocked. Now, I'll even talk about that certain groups that I've been talking about like to do these certain things. See what happens after that. They will call it a curse when they attack you and stuff like that. And so I'm going to find out in the future. I'm just sitting and waiting at the moment, pretty much in limbo. Can't quite tidy up until a certain date. Then I can move on to exactly what I've got to do and cruise on to do it, right? Because sometimes if you rush too early, you might find out that things get worse, right? And if things get worse, you can make it worse by rushing and moving things when you don't need to, kind of thing sometimes, you know. I've been in this boat heaps of times, so I learn pretty quickly, right, about what I need to do, how to sort out things, to get it ready. Clean up time helps you a lot when you go to go move, because it helps you figure out things to do things quickly when you need to go do it.
You're thinking like, oh, it's somebody you don't know. No, it's people that you already know. Okay, so now that you know who, what, where, when, and why, what do? You protect yourselves from those type of individuals.
Exactly.
It's like a simple fix, a clear solution.
Now, people, with this story, how would you protect yourself from such a story? Let me know in comments. In fact, I'm getting this story so bad that I might not even get a comment about what I just said. Shit. So imagine that onto it too. If you try to speak to the world about what you do. And you can't get a comment. Oh my God. So what would you do in all that situation?
The type of energy.
Have a laugh.
And it's just because, and some people they was connected to them, and if you didn't know them, they was connected to these individuals. So it's kind of like
connected to them.
And everybody like,
they're collective. It's part of this story.
Normally,
as they make money.
Car and take pictures of them and then do the work.
So the cool thing about it, I've talked to Emma about if that was real, that spiritual thing. They dob themselves in. They can see the future, but not actually see it, but feel it, pick it up and stuff like that. They'll find, and when you do, that they'll have to manipulate it a lot. Definitely if there are people that want to use these gifts for themselves to change. So they know something's happening and they can manipulate it to say that they made that happen. It's a little bit like the old days where the kings and queens would say, oh, look, we studied the stars, so we know the moon's about to cover up and we're going to go, God's upset with you, and we manipulate, right? By knowing things. And if you look in the future, you can do the same thing. And get people to believe you because you know things are going to happen. You do look in the future, but you're not actually telling them exactly what's happening. You tell them your perspective so you can change and use your gift. That's what you got it for, right? There's no use looking into the future and you can't do nothing about it. It'll actually make you frustrated. But you can't do nothing. What you don't see, you don't know. But if you see it, you want it, like junk mail kind of thing. So people look in the future usually get corrupted. If God ever sends that gift, he'll find out, and all the way through history about that gift, is that it causes corruption. Humans aren't ready for that. Every time they get given to them, we have a story of the witches getting strung up, pretty much, because they don't know how to use it right and they do it wrongly. And they're just selfish. And when we get gifts, it's not about here's a gift to make you more selfish. It's here's a gift, what are you going to do with it for everything out there, right?
When everything worked out fine. I don't understand.
You know?
Confirmation.
Gangster confirmation.
Jeez.
You know?
Y'all is crazy.
So if you looked into the future on that one, like she said, confirmation, here's a quick little movie I can tell you. It comes to me in my head, certain things. That someone looked into the future, knew that someone will say, you know, after they say, you know, so they've seen it, right? And then they can manipulate why they thought that happened, right? And if you believe that they knew that was coming, then you're more likely to believe the next manipulation. Definitely if you don't know both stories, don't know both people's lives that they're talking about, they should be within it to help you confirm that they're not manipulating you. But when they're talking about other people that people hardly know or they don't hardly know, it'll be easy to manipulate their path and to steal it and all that kind of stuff. As they talk about that people do. That's why such a system would have to be shut down, wouldn't it? It's corruption. It's evilness. It's things that happen to people and they don't even know it's happening. That's the worstest type of evilness as ever. You rather have someone actually punch you in the face, not a ghost punching in your face and you go, what the fuck? Right? No one wants that. And so it would eradicate all ghosts like we see in Ghostbusters. Right? Because you can't work with something that's not equal and fair to you.
Cut it. Somebody feel like they are now cursed or blocked or something like that.
See? So they can say these stories like I've been talking about. And I even told my mum recently, it's like I'm cursed. Everything I do, it gets worse. But it doesn't get worse because of some spiritual thing that I can't explain. In fact, I've got several ways to explain it. In fact, I've got even evidence that it happens to other people. And it's all a human factor of playing God. Simple as that.
Crazy. Their life is not leveling up and they're pissed.
Because with my life, all I need is people to listen. And now it's been a long story where people haven't listened for a few years. So when they want to see the story, will they listen for 3 years? You know, even though those 3 years, you can round it down to a couple of hours, 20 minutes a day. But could you handle all that time? That might be a couple of days. In most cases that I found, there's not many people, unless they really love you, I guess, and they're getting paid or you're going to give them a benefit, most won't. In fact, no one's done it with me yet. I've been asking people and talking to people and finding out the truth about them, about could you spend 3 days on me? Could you? You love me that much? I know a lot of people and myself that have spent months on people. All I thought about was them and how I can help them out. But I guess if you can pull off 3 days, you might be coming a little bit off a sinner, where you stop thinking about yourself only. And definitely to help these things that what you would say to God to help you because he created you. Well, you're going out there creating all these children which create problems, so what are you doing? Guess you're all in the image of God. You got your answer already about maybe what God's going to do for you, right? Kids have already got it about what their God does for them. Fucking selfish fuckers upset because you upset their God, upset them and all these kind of things. Sad, isn't it? And yet, technically, they're your God. They born you in that. Alright? Anyway. That's how you should treat animals and all that kind of stuff.
Their life is not leveling up and they're
their God.
They're so confused.
Their world is what you've created for them. So they're miserable because you created that misery.
Like, can we work this out though? No.
No.
Yeah, no. Somebody is quitting or withdrawn or awakened that you're not sick either.
I'm sick of this place. I'm sick of this area. I'm sick of lies. I'm sick of deceit. I'm sick of being here. You get it? Once I'm gone, if I stay there, you will become sick. The longer you're there, the sicker you get. Right? It's like being around a virus and it constantly sneezes on you. Right? They would advise you to leave the area of the sickness so you can heal quicker. You see? I try to heal here, and I've got a whole 3-year story of when you really try to heal after deceits and stuff and already incidents, and all you're doing is the right thing and things are still going wrong for you. That would make you sick, wouldn't it? If you wanted to commit suicide, but then you do all the righteous things that they tell you in the Bible and you ring up hotline, and then no one cares, no one listens, and it only gets worse for years and years, what do you think would happen? Would you get sick in some sort of way?
Rejected. No. There's no compromising. After all this, it's nothing these people could ever say.
What is written is written.
I don't care if the sky is falling on them.
You can say things, but it still doesn't get rid of what's written. But you can make what's written sound better later on in the story. You know what I mean? Or you can just leave it there written and ignore it. Or make it worse. But what is written, right?
They could never get back in whoever y'all energy. Ever. And they know that. And that's why they're worried. They already tried to destroy that, so that's where they fucked up at.
You know where my life got worse too? Reporting about bad guys. What you call bad guys, you can come and see my videos if you're willing to watch it. And I'll go, that's a bad guy, right? You still call that thing a bad guy that's doing bad things? Right? Perhaps not. I haven't got the right badge.
They never tried to destroy you. How you want to try to destroy somebody and say, hey, we friends?
Yeah, they're really raggy. They used to hang out at Twigman Tree. They used to love being in it too. But this place cut it down. Not long after I tried to give Twigman Tree a story in the first time. It's probably 50 Life of Being with Unger. And he got the same tragedy I'm pretty much getting. It's pretty sad. A lot of things do, actually.
You think you can? No, what you kidding?
I guess God doesn't favour this place. You know what I mean? As it goes to get a story to make it sound better and it gets removed.
Fuck no. Why would I ever trust you? But you can't. Hell no. Hell no.
And bad guys,
hell no.
With the rules I've talked about, what I call bad, and I'm not saying if you add drugs, you're a bad guy. If you sell drugs, you're a bad guy. These are the lowest and most not even bad. If you sell tobacco, you're not a bad guy. But if you're a murderer, you're a deceiver, you're a stealer constantly off good people, definitely too, so I'll class you more as a bad guy. If you steal off the fucking assholes that steal, you're not a bad guy. You know what I mean? You're like a Robin Hood to me. Fuck the ones that steal. They deserve a bit of karma back, don't they? Steal back from them, right? So what do you class as a bad guy? And why are you one?
Because their life not leveling up, they want to compromise. Oh, well. After you just tried you for how many long years, they've been stealing y'all energy and attacking you spiritually. And
so they talk about that they read other people's energies. Say this one in my story, if they try to use this excuse at the court when I go, or, you know, when I put my autobiography, there'll be a court, maybe, trust me. They'd probably want to do them one themselves, and if they don't, it's a spiritual court, and the truth comes out and they say nothing and run off to their corners, right? But I tell you, it's going to come out when it comes to this reading and energy, because ever since I started actually trying to understand why they don't talk and give reports so they can talk, so we can have a communication, things just get worse, and these smart asses talking about that someone's doing something to someone, which sounds just like me, you see? That's what they do. They try to make you feel like shit, and they know it, and then they start doing tricks and shit like that. And then they have another idiot trying to say they're on the same side. They're very, very weird. They use all the tricks in the book. All the tricks in the book.
Trying to hex and curse you and beat you down. And now they all...
Now, when you beat someone down, that means you're using non-truth lies, like a bully does. But if you're speaking truth, don't let them go, don't put me down, that's going to ruin my life. Well, it's truth, and you're going to heal through it. You've made me go through truths in certain areas. Why aren't you? These people are weak as piss, I believe. You let me know in comments if you believe that. They should heal through it, like my cousin Craig had to do when people found out about him and stuff like that, and he couldn't get it hidden. And he ended up killing himself, obviously, in the end. It was a bit of an accident. But that's how, within a year or two, his story went out. And his business went downhill. And they sent him to the downhill part for all the great help he got. And you go into drugs and stuff like that because he got all this great help. You know what I mean? This system is very sad. You don't notice it until you be in the spot, which is a downer, right? And see what the system really does for you. When you're a downer, when you haven't put into the system yet, They will treat you a little bit like Jehovah Witnesses, where everyone will be a sinner unless you get blessed from them. So I used to say that when I first found out about it when I was a kid. I'm like, shit, that means we're all damned to hell. That's what they say until you go in and get blessed and water on them and join their crew. You're all damned to hell. Even a baby. They couldn't debate me. The ones that were, they said, well, I guess so. I'm like, that's no loving God to me. That a baby might go to hell if it's born and doesn't make it to that place in time. That doesn't sound like a loving place or a loving rule or anything. But anyway, let's just continue on this one for a little bit and we'll end it there.
Look, y'all, look. We gonna have to stop this fight and we gonna have to compromise because I can't take it no more. We gotta come to an agreement because look, what we gonna do? I don't know. What we gonna do? I don't know. What you gonna do?
Imagine this group, if they were true with the things they say, doing a spell on someone to be real because they wanted to see one. But then in the end, they gang up with all the same people because they really couldn't handle the truth. You know what I mean? It's like praying for Jesus to rock up and then you have to watch Jesus die because you all wanted to be loving, but the real truth of the world is that they can't handle Jesus. That's why he got strung up. And he would again if he rocked up at this time. I believe that. You let me know in comments if you do. In fact, I reckon he'd be killed even quicker. I definitely won't say no about it and all the chaos it would cause of why he would have to be killed. It's sad of the envy and greed on this place. Jealousy.
Because somebody is completely committed to moving the fuck on with life.
Fuck yeah.
There's no going back. And this is what someone knows.
You know what happens when you get a habit? It takes a few years usually if you stick to something. It only takes a few years, even a year. It's hard to break it. So the longer you're in the habit, the harder it is to break the habit or why you started it for. If it's got a good reason why you should have been doing it, even harder again, than a bad reason. So, yeah, that's why people will be certain ways. That's why I say to you, it's like when you've changed, how long have you changed and how long have you proved it? How long have you stuck up for it? How long have you stuck up for it where people have all left you because they think you're crazy or you're stupid because you do things that other people just don't do or say? A lot of people would say at a workplace, they go, you be honest, but then they do the cop thing and go, when I say shoot the tires, I mean shoot them in the head kind of thing, right? They do that at work. That's the real truth out there. They want something honest, but then they go, look, please don't be too honest. I don't want that. I don't actually want what we think we believe we want. So it's sad because of the truth out there. But anyway, have a good one. And if you want to know the rest of what she talks about, there you go. You can resonate it however you want to resonate it. That's how they roll. I've chucked in as they will take their shirt off their back. So me videoing them is like joining them, helping them out. Can't be making it any worse. And I speak truth. They like truth. So I speak my opinion. They like my opinion. Or are they not what they say they are? You know what I mean? Only the future could tell. But if you know this group personally, and if you know if you attack them, they attack you, well, you might just know the answer within yourselves. Like God knows it. Who knows? You know what I mean? And see you later.